We're here today to have a public hearing on ordinance.
The fireworks debate is not new for Snohomish County.
People are saying it's 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. I heard bombs and fireworks going off as early as May.
Those who want consumer fireworks banned point to leftover litter, environmental impacts of waterways, fire hazards, and a lot of scared animals.
Their dogs are climbing the fences, they are digging under the fences, they are running wild in the roads, causing wrecks, being hit by cars.
A recent Snow 911 meeting, they made it quite clear that the workload on the 4th went up 35%.
The ballot measure will ask voters if they want to ban the discharge of consumer fireworks in urban growth areas of unincorporated Snohomish County. No matter what voters decide, the county council will still have to take action to create an ordinance that could change county code. And those who don't like the idea of a ban point to areas where bans haven't worked.
Most complaints I hear about fireworks are about acts and products that are already illegal. Any new fireworks ban would create an insurmountable burden on an already overtaxed sheriff's office during that time of year. They can't keep up right now anyway.
Our nonprofit organization, several churches within Snohomish County, that need these funds. They use the funds to send kids to camp, and they use funds to buy speakers and things like that. And a lot of people sit here and say, well, they could do a bake sale or they could do a car wash. Frankly, they can't do those for a week and make as much money as what they make selling fireworks.
There's also concern that the ballot question still allows for people to buy and possess fireworks, just not set them off.
Banning the use but continuing the sale, I think is very confusing. It would be the equivalent of allowing illegal drugs to be sold in the 7-Eleven. You can have them, you just don't use them.
Now, if County Council does decide to pass some kind of ordinance that bans fireworks in some way in Snohomish County, it's unlikely it will take effect anytime before 2021. Live in Everett, I'm Alison Morrow, King 5 News.